kind of talk to you again. This is just going to be a lot of me showing you things online, showing you how I do a few things, and then we'll talk more toward the end. This is something interesting, and I know I am a licensed broker in Florida. I haven't really done much with my real estate license in Florida, and I keep talking about all of these different online marketing ideas and strategies to other people, and I thought, you know what, I could do some things with my license in Florida. Why couldn't I set up a landing page and try to generate referral income where if people contacted me about wanting to know what their property was worth in Sarasota, Florida, I could then gather the lead. And again, I am a licensed broker and I try to make certain that all of this displays correctly for the license law. And I explain here that if someone's interested, I can have a team member get in touch with them, someone else that I know. And if they want to find out more about what their home is worth, they can click on that and the lead goes directly to me. And then I can get in touch with someone in the Sarasota, Florida area. And I have a couple of people that I've already am working with down there who will run with these leads for me. And I'm doing some Facebook advertising on how to generate these types of leads. So that's one item today that I want to kind of show you and how I'm working through all of this and how you can do this as well. Another interesting thing that I've done with online marketing that is it's picking up traction, and it's a lot of this stuff that I'm doing. For example, this ad that you're looking at here, this landing page that you are looking at here, I'm actually spent $16 and some change in advertising money over a 5 or 6 day period, and I targeted real specific sellers. Now, I did not receive yet. I just started this out and I have some ways I'm testing this. And again, I want you to just watch what I'm doing and I want you to make it better for your own business and apply it in your own marketplace, because you can do a lot of this literally for nothing. And we'll get into this and I'll show you. One of the things that I recently did, and we had two people on the call, and I registered a domain name. It's called getyourvaloan.com. If you go to getyourvaloan.com, with a loan officer that I work with who does some VA loans, did an online VA homebuyers webinar. And here is, now it's over with now, so you can see the time's over. I did a little green screen video where they could watch and find out more information. I had a little bit of information about Terry. And what's interesting about this, again, using Facebook advertising, and I don't know how many of you have done this or are doing it, I literally was able to go into any market I wanted to in the United States. Now, I chose my area, Farmington, and I chose, Delina's on the call, I chose Farmington, Bonne Terre, Deloge. And I told Facebook, I also went in and dug a little deeper and said, I just want to target veterans, and we'll take a look at this in a little bit because it's very fascinating. And I had some tremendous results and had two people on the call. Now that I was thrilled with spending $20 or $30 for a short, concise campaign to reach two potential VA buying prospects. I've spent I run an ad in the local newspaper, a full page ad, and I've run the ad for a couple of months and I don't get that kind of response, or that I'm not targeting in on the kind of buyers that I want to target in on. Now, again, this is a concept really I could run this anywhere and give referral leads out to other agents somewhere. I wanted to focus on my local market area. But these are just two recent things I wanted to show you and that we're going to talk about on the call. Now, the other thing I want to show you is, and it's available to everyone who's a member of the National Association of Realtors. It's called RPR. And if you're not using RPR, man, you're missing out just on what I think is one of the best uh, products that the National Association of Realtors have developed for the industry. And since I've been in the business, and I've been practicing real estate since 1978. And one of the things that's very, very interesting about this, or very cool about this, is the ability to go into neighborhoods. And so if I know, for instance, Mike's on the call in Des Moines, Iowa, I can actually go into West Des Moines, Iowa, and I'm on the neighborhood tab, and I can select this tab, and you can see that now all of a sudden I have lots of information about West Des Moines, Iowa. I have housing information. I have people information. In fact, we'll go down and take a look because there's tons of data here. But I can see that 51% of the people vote Democrat in West Des Moines, Iowa, and 47.2% vote Republican. I remember hearing a lot about West Des Moines, Iowa on the night of the caucus back in February, but lots of information. And then I can select a report and I can create a really cool report that I can embed on my website into a program that creates a little digital magazine. Now, I'm just trying to throw a few things out because I want your minds to begin thinking about what can I do with online marketing? And then we're going to dive in and I'm going to show you a little bit about how you put some of this together and what you can do. But here is a neighborhood report for that I can now share this via email. I can share this via social media and so much more. And again, I've embedded these on my community so I can drive people to my website if they want to find out more information. I can also go in and do some interesting things here that are subdivision specific. So if you wanted to create a driving video for a particular subdivision and put this on your website, and then you could use a program like RPR, and you can develop. So I'm going to go into West Des Moines again. And it auto-populates. With this feature, I can look at any neighborhood in the United States with this program RPR. Now, I cannot look at MLS data unless I belong to that MLS, but I can look at neighborhood data and get all kinds of neighborhood information. But I just want to show you that if I was a member of this MLS and I wanted to drill in to and find out why my map is not moving forward. Let me refresh my page here. So I'm going to go into the bigger map and I want to try to drill down. There we go. If I wanted to use some of these tools, I could draw a map around a specific subdivision and I could begin to farm this subdivision. And by the way, as I mentioned, I've had my license since 1978. A lot of old school stuff still works, okay? But we can use technology to make the old school stuff, I think, cool and interesting and help us generate interesting stuff a lot faster and quicker. So I think farming a subdivision still pays huge dividends. I'm reading this very fascinating book now called The Compounding Effect. I believe that's the name of the book. And And this gentleman talks about the fact that if you just do a little bit each day, how it adds up and it compounds and it makes and you can have tremendous results. And what happens to most of us is we don't tend to consistently, and I'm just as guilty, okay, but we don't tend to consistently work or nurture that one item that we want, that we need to be working on. And I say all of that to say that if you farm an area and you work that consistently and nurtured it, you could own that area and do a lot of business in that farm area, because I've seen it happen in my life over my real estate career in various subdivisions in my own area. So now I've drawn a map around this subdivision. I can save this. This is exactly what I did for this log cabin lane. And I'm just going to save this as webinar subdivision. And I'm going to select OK. Now, really what I just did is the same thing that I can create for people who come to my website and wanted to download the latest market activity report. They could do that right here. And then they can subscribe to this mailing list right here. This is all free. None of this cost me anything. I'm generating the report through RPR that's free, included with my dues. I'm putting the report in a Dropbox, which is free for a certain amount of storage. That costs me nothing. And I'm using MailChimp, which again is free for a number of subscribers, all to help me go in and generate reports for this subdivision that I just saved a report for. So if we downloaded, and I need to update this specific report, it's a little dated. Most of you on the call already know that a lot of what I'm doing is speaking and training. I do a lot of work in France. I'm getting ready to leave for France in just a couple of days to do some work over there. But this is an area that's log cabin subdivision, and I went into RPR, I drew the map around here, and now I actually have all kinds of interesting. But what I wanted you to understand is I can now send out postcards to that subdivision at the first of the month. So here we go. We're back up now. At the first of the month, and I can drive traffic to this website. I can get people to sign up for this. And the first of the month, I update the report. I then blast out an email to everyone that's on the list. And I'm beginning to be the go-to person for that subdivision. In fact, I tell folks, and something I want to begin doing, is create a little green screen video or a video where you can introduce and talk about the topic. I didn't look to see if my friend Bob's on from up in Wisconsin, but Bob, a very good friend of mine, he's a great real estate agent. He does some amazing things with market activity reports for his clients, and he's using BombBomb to do that. And he's using it in an effort to keep his sellers informed on what's going on in the market, just so they know what's happening. And Bob's probably also using it as a farming tool, but I know he's in Lake Genevieve up in the Wisconsin area. What wouldn't people who owned real estate, because a lot of those are probably second homes and investment properties, a lot of those folks may want to know, that's a big investment. What's my property value, what's my real estate worth, and is it going up or down? So these are some things that you can do. I just wanted to, I've showed you a digital magazine. I've showed you how to create subdivisions within your website. And I want to tell you, I travel around, I meet lots of real estate agents, and the agents who are really just knocking it out of the park are doing these kinds of things. I was at Inman Connect just a few weeks ago in New York City, and I watched a real estate agent, several top young real estate agents out in the Portland area, and one girl, she is like creating single pages just like this for each and every different area in the Portland area. And so there's really cool things that you can do with this, and you're driving traffic to your website, you're getting people to sign up. And it goes back to what I was showing you when I showed you the coffee pot earlier. Because if you go to a website called seattlecoffeegear.com, I love this website, and I found it because I have been wanting a a super automatic machine for a long, long time, and they have some refurbished machines. And I bought my machine here. I did not pay $2,900 for mine. I got it. It's refurbished, and it was normally sells for about that much, but I paid about we got a substantial discount. But if you go into some of these machines, they actually have videos where they show you about these specific machines and how they work. And I'll just click on this one and we'll see if she's got a video. And they have fun doing these videos. Here we go right here. And I watch these videos and see they're just having a great time. They laugh, they talk about products, and I bought my coffee. My wife and I purchased our coffee machine from this company, and it's because I kept going back, and I had fun watching their videos, but they also educated me on high-end espresso coffee machines. And if I was going to take the leap and the jump and go into that, I wanted to really do business with this company because I started building a trust. I had fun watching their videos and just a lot more. So you can go out to Seattle Coffee and watch and take a look at some of that. So where are we going today? What do we want to do today? I want to see if there's any questions. I'm going to put everybody's hand down, and because I know I've thrown a lot at you, some of you may have some specific questions. Let me find my attendees and let me be like the teacher. I'll put everybody's hand down, and I can unmute you if you have a question and you're like, hey, could you talk about, if I don't want to go too fast, I want to make sure everybody's okay, but any specific questions anybody has before we move on, just raise your hand. It's like a talk radio show. We don't have 9,000 people on, so it's not like, but we have a great group of folks on. So I do not see, I'm going to look in the question bank. Then you can always type your question in. Somebody said they lost the audio, but it's back now. That may have been when my computer locked up there. So was there any specific thing I need to go back and talk about? I don't know how long the audio was gone, and I apologize about that. Okay, so we've got audio now. I don't see any questions. Okay, let's take a look at just kind of what I'm using, some of the products I'm using, and how you can do some of these items and put some of these things up. First of all, I really think video is huge, and I believe you've got to start doing more with video. And I'm going to, the iPhone, if you have an iPhone, does an excellent job with video today. There is a Rode microphone. Actually, if you just go to Rode.com, RODE, one of the things that I recently purchased and I'm experimenting with is, and if you go over to mobile, because you can do some great videos on your mobile, the key is you really need good audio. So I purchased one of these smart lav microphones. And by the way, I purchased mine from Amazon. And normally they have this at the Guitar Center as well. And Amazon beats their price. So if you go to one of your a place like Best Buy or Guitar Center will do this. I know. Just show them, take your phone in and show them the Amazon, and they'll match the price right there on the spot. So if you don't want to pay for shipping, but this is called a smart lav mic. And there's a key thing that you need to understand is it these are compatible with iOS devices, these smart lav mics. Now the problem with this is when I first purchased it, it's not a very long cable. In fact, I'm trying to look down through here. The cable is not very long at all. And so it really didn't do me any good. I wanted to be able to put this on a tripod. I want to be able to quickly do videos and have amazing sounding audio. So I went to Amazon and I purchased an extension cable, and it didn't work. Okay. And I was really frustrated, and I was at the Radio Shack or somewhere, and I told the gentleman, I said, I can't get this to work. I plugged it in. It's a 25-foot cable. I go in the other room, nothing's happening. And I found out that you have to have a cable that has a jack that is iOS compatible. Okay, so I learned that. But for $8 or $9, I purchased a 25-foot cable or an extension cable that plugs into this mic, and now I'm telling you the audio's unbelievable. So I've got my first, you've got your first thing you can get out of the way. You're already leveraging a phone that you have and the video on your phone, because your iPhones, even if they're a generation or two old, are going to do an amazing job with video. But you really have to make that audio pop, I think. And so audio, uh, purchase a good audio microphone. But when you start to look for these, and there's some on Amazon that are not very expensive, you really want to look for that it's iOS compatible. And sometimes they can hide some of that stuff, and it's a little harder to determine. So I bought a microphone, I bought an extension. Now, the key was, how do I get my phone, how do I get all of this to work so that I can begin doing some video with my tripod? And I found a guy, and actually I've talked to this guy on the phone. He's a great guy, and he has a website called Caddy Buddy, CADDIE BUDDY, and he sells. You can see over here iPhone mounts. And I purchased the iPhone mount. There's the iPad, and here it is. I purchased the tripod. It's $24, not a lot of money. But if you have a tripod, you now can take this and trying to blow that up for you so you can see it. But this mounts into your tripod, and actually he sells it with a clamp, so you can also clamp it to your desk, or if you're on a plane, you can do that as well. And he also sells the for the iPad. So he's got the same mount. It's a little more money, but if you want to use your you can use this for your iPad as well. And by the way, I was talking to him on the phone. This clips to your counter, or he's got it right here where you can actually set it on your TV. So I just wanted to show you a couple of things that have really helped me begin to start doing some video mobile that I can do very quickly and allow me to have good audio and not spend a lot of money. One of the things I did purchase from him, because sometimes people say, well, I'd like to be able to do video, John, but I'm not certain I know what to say or how to say it. And if you're doing a lot of this, I wouldn't recommend you spend a lot of this, because people really want you to be yourself. And if you mess up, just like today, if you mess up, it's no big deal. But if you're doing a lot of high-end training and you want to make certain that you're reading the words correctly and that you're looking at the camera, you can actually purchase an application that is a teleprompter app for $9. And you can also then purchase this little device. It's about $150, but literally what happens is your video camera is right behind the glass, and you can read this just as if you were the president of the United States giving the State of the Union address or a newscaster, and you can look right at the camera, read your teleprompter as the words go by at your pace, and really adds a lot of extra dimension. So here's what that kind of looks like here. And so the camera is right behind there. So I just wanted to point those two items out because I think video is a huge thing that we need to think about. And then putting that video online. But there's two things I want to talk about when we discuss video. When you produce a video, you definitely want to make sure that you have a YouTube account. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is upload your video to your channel. And then once you have the video on your channel, and you can see right here, I've had literally over 138,000 views. I've got a couple hundred subscribers. I need to work on my list a little bit more. But here are all of my videos, and I can go in and change these. And what's interesting is, if you do a specific, here's the one I did with Navy Federal the other day. And so as I put this video up for Navy Federal, I can then take that video and embed it on my website. So I'm using YouTube to host and put a lot of my videos, but really what I want to do is I want to take that video and I want to embed that on my website. And so if you come down here to my latest blog, here it is just from a couple of days ago. I've already embedded that video yesterday, as a matter of fact, or 2 days ago. So here's the video. And this is the address that I'm going to drive my traffic to. I don't want to send them over to YouTube because I want them to come over here and I want to be able to get more page views at my website and so forth. So video is very important. Think about how you can do this quickly. And here's the other thing I want you to think about with an online strategy, and specifically videos. They do not have to be long. In fact, a 40-second video update of what's going on in your marketplace, even a 30-second video clip at your favorite coffee shop showing your favorite, why you like to come here, and maybe do a quick 2 words with the person that runs the shop, or talk about your favorite coffee that you like to get, or latte or whatever. Those are the kind of things that people are looking for today, and they're searching on the internet. It's called long tail key searches, and this is how people are going to find you on your website. That's exactly how I found Seattle Coffee Gear. That's exactly how a client found me that I did some work for, and then they hired me to do some more work, and then they hired me to do some more work, and yesterday they called me, and now they want to hire me to do a whole bunch of work for their brokers and managers for some online training. And the only way I found that client was because one of their leadership team was searching and looking and found a specific blog that I had written about, and she reached out to me. So think about those kinds of things that you can do, and they don't have to be long productions. They don't have to be you've got to have good audio, and you want it to be professional, but you can use your smartphone, I guess is what I'm saying. Try to get these to where it's not a lot of work, and you can get these things and put them online quickly. And the key is consistency to build that. So I'm actually logged in, and I'm going to edit this post right here. And I want to show you something else that we could do here. So here is the post on my website. Most of you have websites that are where you can actually go in, and I'm going to highlight this video, and I'm just going to delete it. So if I update the website, you will notice that as we go back and we view this page right here, view this post, the video's gone. So it's no longer there. Now, how do you get a video on a website? A lot of people ask me that. And we're going to go back to YouTube. And another item that I've got a ton of to-do list on my that I need to update. This is my Business Tech Guy YouTube channel, and this is really a bad cover art. And I have a gentleman that in the next couple of weeks that's kind of updating all of my branding. But I created this in Canva one day and put it online. But you can change this, and I really encourage you to have your company logo and have this branded. But I'm gonna go to videos, and this has all of the videos I've put up. By the way, some videos, this is some work I am doing for a client right here. If we go into this, you'll notice this video actually is, and I can see that my client has watched it, but this is hidden on my website. In other words, she's the only one I gave access to look at that. This is a public item, and I can see, which is really, I published it on February 25th, and we've had 6 views, so that I'm okay with that. Again, if I can get 1 or 2 great VA clients off of that webinar that I did from the comfort of my own home, and Terry actually did the whole webinar, I just introduced him. I'm happy with that. I've gotten a couple of new leads, and I'm helping somebody understand and learn how to take their VA entitlement. So I'm on this video, and if you scroll down, you'll notice there's a little button right here that says share. There's several things we could do. I could click on the more button. I can look at statistics, but I want to select share, and I'm going to embed this. So I have several options. I could email a link to someone. I could share it with the link here, or I could embed this, and that's what I want to do. So I'm going to, notice it's all highlighted. I'm just going to right-click my mouse and copy that. And now all I have to do is come back over here to this page that I was on. I'm going to select Edit Post. These are all different depending, but you need to kind of find out, how do I get in my website and edit a page or a post? And now I just come down here below, and in my website, I have to select the text tab. There's a text tab and a visual tab. When you're pasting code, computer code, you have to select text for my website. And I right click and I paste that code that I obtained from YouTube. Once I have taken this and copied it, I can update this. And if we view the post, it's now online, back online. So let's think about this for a moment. If we really want to leverage online marketing and technology today, how can we do this? I spent, we'll look at it here in a minute, 20 bucks, I don't know, maybe $30 on advertising Facebook alone. That's all I did. Targeting VA veterans. And when a veteran, I'll show you what everything looked like. We're going to log into Facebook in just a second. So I really targeted who I wanted to go after. I did not want, there was a certain criteria that I wanted to go after for this VA webinar. I set up through a company called Lead Pages. It's $39 a month, but it's probably the best $39 I spend. You can get different levels. In fact, I think they even have a free version, but in order to have it branded and some different things, I pay $39 a month. Now, with this, I can create landing pages. Okay. And here is the landing page for the VA. I've done a couple of different ones. This was the first one we did. I had 1,033 people land on the page. I had about 1% uh, click through. That's not great. So I'm trying to fine tune and figure out, well, what could be a little different and how could I make this work? I mean, I'm okay with that on this specific type of program because, I mean, if I can convert two of these buyers these leads that I now have, I had 315 people go to the landing page. If I can convert two buyers in my marketplace and I'm just on one side of the transaction, I'm going to generate, anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So it's not a bad return on a $35 investment. And again, this is more specific because it's for VA, but you can see, I think I told you I had two people on the webinar. It's a 1% conversion, 315 people that clicked on it. Now, I can see here, this is interesting for today's, I had a 14% response rate. Now, I've talked about this in several of my classes, and it's interesting. There's a book, if you go to Amazon, and there's a book, and you have to purchase this book. It's called Advertising Headlines That Make You Rich. And just buy the Kindle version. Here it is right here. If you buy the paperback version or hardcover, it's $44. If you buy the Kindle version, it's $7.99. All I wanted the book for was the headlines. This is written by a gentleman by the name of David Garfinkel, and I know several of you probably heard me talk about this. The ad that I used for this webinar came right out of his book. And it sounded kind of goofy to me, but here's what I'm learning the more online marketing that I study and try to implement. You've got to follow what the other people are doing, the successful people are doing. This guy, when I use his headlines and I somehow incorporate my topic of real estate or whatever, I just hit it out. I mean, it's much more successful. So I used his, and you can see I had a pretty good return there. I'm okay with that. Some of these are zero, and there's a reason for that. So don't panic on that. Now, here's the house valuation. Let's just open this up. And let's take a look at this page right here. This is the one that I did. And when I first did the ad and I was having lots of clicks, my picture wasn't on there. And I was a little worried because I thought, well, maybe some people are wondering, is this some kind of scam? Who is this? And I still think, even with my picture, hopefully I don't look like a con artist. I guess, I don't know. I guess I could ask Marco Rubio. No, the election's getting really bad, isn't it? It's like, oh gosh, could we just talk about issues and get on? I shouldn't talk about politics, but hopefully I don't look like a con artist. I'm trying to keep you awake here. I want you to stay with me. I want you to understand my concern was if I was in Sarasota, Florida, and I saw this ad pop up in my Facebook feed, I was having lots of people click on it. And by the way, you'll see my demographics I chose for this specific ad. And I was going after a real niche market in Sarasota. And I was getting a lot of clicks, and I thought, why am I not getting any takers? I'm kind of sitting back thinking, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to get somebody that says, come out and tell me what my home's worth, and I'm going to call one of my folks in Sarasota, and we're going to pop a $1-2 million waterfront listing in Sarasota. and it didn't happen. And so then I began thinking, well, perhaps somebody doesn't, they need to see a person, and that might be the issue. So I don't know. Maybe I need to incorporate video with this. Maybe with RPR. Now I would need to join the Sarasota Association of Realtors, but maybe I need to put in here, would you like to know what the value of your home is using our new RPR pricing matrix through the National Association of Realtors? Click here and receive an answer within 15 minutes of what RPR says your home is worth. Because all I have to do, and the reason I say that is I watched a webinar where some people are doing that exact topic. And so all I really have to do, and you would have to do, is go to NAR RPR, select all properties, type in an address, any address, and actually you can, to verify it, you can type in the address, hit the advanced tab, and type their name in, because you're going to have that information when they request this, and boom, I put this in, and I'm going to, actually, let me just go to the home screen because I teach for RPR. And this is one we did in, well, Mary Lou, you're in Destin. I pulled this because you can pull distressed properties up. We'll pull this property up in Destin, Florida. I just showed this morning to a group, and it's a foreclosure. It's owned by First City Holdings down in Destin, Florida. There it is. It's in RPR. And right here is their RVM, and I could generate a report, maybe attach a quick video with my smartphone, thanking them for inquiring and explaining to them this is what the RPR says your property's worth. Now, please understand, this is not this is not an appraisal. This is not what your home is worth. I would really need to look. This is just a computer generated price, but I could myself or someone I work with in Sarasota could come out, and after a visual inspection and after using our experience and our knowledge of the marketplace and looking at other comparable properties which have sold, we can give you a more definite answer on what we believe your property would be worth on today's market. Now, I'm telling you all of that to say that these guys that I watched not too long ago, and you maybe have seen their webinar, that's their real key that's working for them is the user plugs in their address and it generates an email, and then they go back in touch with them. I hope I didn't lose you on that, but what I'm trying to say is I'm fine tuning this, and I think it might be more inviting if they saw a video or it was number one, and number two is if there was like, I can get this to you within 15 or 20 minutes or within 2 hours, find out what your home is worth by the end of the day or within 24 hours. I think that might be more appealing to people. So when they click on it, they give me their information, and then this immediately generates an email to me. And by the way, this ties into the second thing that we were kind of moving toward, which is MailChimp, and it's free. And so when a person goes into the home valuation and they add this information right here, their information, and they click this, it goes into a MailChimp database specific for Sarasota, for that website. And then it notifies me by email or text, and I can immediately then do the work, email it to them, but I have their name that I can use as a drip marketing campaign to follow up with over a certain period of time with video or other emails, and to stay in touch with them. Because Seattle Coffee Gear, I've probably been going there for a year or longer. And I signed up for their newsletter and I've watched their videos, but I wasn't ready to buy just yet. But see what happened when I was ready to purchase? Boom, they made a sale. And it was all because of the things they're doing online. So let's jump into Facebook now, and let me show you some of this. And golly, it's 3:48, and I'll kind of wrap this up to where, because I'm going to do some more of this where we're really going to break it out and go step by step. But here I am in Facebook. There's two of my good friends from Spain and France that I'll be seeing next week, Ramon and Leo. Couple of good guys. I'm going to go down here to the side and I'm going to go into manage ads. Now, if you've not been doing any Facebook advertising, I'm going to really show you how to do this in the next week or so. And notice I'm not delivering my ad in Sarasota. Because when I wanted to put this active, if I wanted to put this active, I can actually go in, and over here it ended on February I actually have it turned off there. So if I turn this on and I want to go into get this ad going again, let's just click this on this ad. I can change the date range and I can say, let's start the ad today and let's end it on the 12th. See that? And so I don't want to do this, but I want to show you how easy it is. So I can go back. This is actually looking at the activity, but I can go in and I can begin to look at what's happened on that. But I can actually tell Facebook advertising when I want to run the ads and when I want them to stop. So now I'm going to select Sarasota. And let's go down and let's see if we can edit this. And actually, let's just create a new ad. So I'm going to go to Manage Ads. And I want to create an ad in the top right corner. And we'll just really quickly go through this. I want to send people to my website. So I'm going to go over here to the VA homebuyers webinar I did. Remember this page? This is where I want to send them to my website. And so I'm going to take this URL right here and I'm going to right click my mouse and copy this. All right. Now, what I'm going to do back at Facebook is I'm going to right click this and paste. And so it will allow me, it will check to make sure that's a valid web page, and it is. And now I'm going to set the audience and the budget. This is where it gets really cool. So in this case, I don't want everybody in the United States, so I'm going to take that out. And I'm going to actually go in and type in Fort Walton Beach, because there's a Air Force base there. And now I've put in Fort Walton, Pensacola. So I'm going to leave that right there. I could put another location, but I'm just going to use Fort Walton. And I want to do age 22, let's say, to 30. I want all languages. I can even drill down to a specific language. So I know, Sylvia, if you're still on the call, you could run ads in specific parts of the world or in specific parts of Florida or wherever and target people that you had a desire to do. So I'm going to put English. And I'm going to also put, so we'll leave that. But if I wanted to put Spanish, I could choose Spanish and have both those. Now, again, this is going to show up in these Facebook feeds. Now, look at this when we come down to demographics. And if you select Browse, I can now start drilling down to various types of interest, shopping and fashion. I mean, you could literally drill down to people who, if you were trying to sell sunglasses, this is why we see things that show up in our Facebook feed. I can also just type in military and look what happens. I can now drill down and I want the Air Force because that's in Fort Walton Beach. And I could also, pick any of these if I wanted to do someone from the Gulf War, if I wanted to do um, someone that was, here. Any of these I can choose because remember, we're sending them to my VA webinar website. And here I can come down and set a daily budget. And in this case, and I want to tell you what this young guy um, at Inman Connect on the panel I was on, he says he spends $8 a day. Is his magic number. Now you take $8, and that doesn't mean you're going to spend $8 because they have to click on your ad in order to spend the money. But he said he spends $8 a day. Now you take 8 times 30, and what is that? Or 3 times 8, is that $180? That's about what I would spend a month in our local newspaper. But now I'm specifically going after people that I want to go after. And here's where I say I want it to start today and I want it to end next. And this is the other thing I want you to know. Don't run them for too long of a period because you really want to try to monitor. You want to give it a little bit of chance, but you want to see, if you're my Sarasota ad, I was getting lots of clicks and I was hoping I could show you that. And I wasn't getting any activity or leads. So I don't want to keep spending tons of money. And here we want clicks to our website. And now I can go down here and I can set an ad name. So I'm going to call this military ad for Fort Walton. And I'll choose the ad creative. And this is where I can have multiple images or a single image. And I can use their stock images. They have free stock images. So let's just put, in fact, it auto-populated to buying a home. And look at this. I could pick one of these ads right there. And now I'm starting to build my ad. And I want to connect this with my Mayfield real estate page. And here I can put get your learn about VA, learn about well, I'm trying to think. We'd go back to David Garfunkel's book, but something about get your VA home loan. And now I can come down here, and it already, I guess, pulled some of that text from my website. And I can put a call to action. This is what's cool too, because I'm going to talk more about this as well. You can actually put free ebooks, and I'm going to talk about building your list because I watched a webinar and I think that I'm missing out on a lot of that. This is also going to post to Instagram. It's going to do some various items. And right here, we're going to review the order and I can place the order. I'm going to select edit. And here's what it looks like in the Facebook feed. And it comes up mayfieldre.com. And I probably need to go in and change that so it doesn't say by tech guy. But this is what the ad looks like inside of Facebook when they click on that ad in Facebook. And remember, we're targeting specific people. Boom, they land on this page. Now, the goal is, and that's why I like lead pages, it's cool you can use something like lead pages, and they can land on this page. And the last thing I want to talk about here is in the Facebook feed, this is what was showing up because I was sending them to this page, and I thought, boy, you're from Sarasota and you see businesstechguy.leadpages.co/house. What in the world is that? So it dawned on me. I said, okay, I got it. I went to GoDaddy and I registered a .info site, which cost me 99 cents. And so now if you go to sarasotahomeprices.info, it actually forwards to the landing page. So all I did was go into GoDaddy, registered a 99, because who cares if it has .info, but on the Facebook feed, when they looked in the Facebook feed, right here, it was saying that big long businesstechguy.com/this, that. So when I got it all fixed, it said Sarasota home prices.info. Or whatever I registered. I'd have to go back and pull that up. It's we'll go back here and do that again. It's sarasotahomeprices.info. And it looked just more legit underneath the ad. So what I wanted to do today is a couple of things. First of all, I wanted to just show you there's really, and I have so much more. I mean, I can't believe we went a full hour. And I hope I didn't talk too fast and confuse your head. I wanted today, I told my wife, I said, I really just want to get in there and show them some things I'm doing and things that are working well for me. Now, I mentioned I'm leaving for France in a couple of days, and I'm going to actually be working on this type of stuff for this friend of mine in France. And we've got some really cool things we're doing. One of the things we're doing, watched a lady on a webinar, and she's a very successful online marketer, and she talked about this on her webinar, and I'm going to be talking about this as well, and I have some items that I can share with you with that, but are free downloadable books. And so basically, you want to get people to be intrigued by a free book that you might have. And if they give you their name and email information, then you will in turn provide them with the free book. And here's an example of that. This is a book I'm creating for them called 10 Things to Know Before Buying an Apartment in France. And the goal for us is to do specific advertising on Facebook. And by the way, I didn't even get into YouTube or LinkedIn, and we're going to talk about that as well. But creating downloadable free information, because some people might see, I'm going back to my house value. Some people might see this and they click on it, but they don't opt in. And the goal is what? I want to get their name and email address. I know they might be like me with Seattle Coffee Gear. They may not be ready to pull the trigger to list their $1 million, $2 million property today. But by golly, if I can stay in touch with them and nurture that lead with emails and videos and just helpful information, they may turn to me in 6 months to a year. I've seen this happen in my career over and over and over again. So what I want you to understand is a downloadable ebook like this might be easier for somebody to give me their name and email address, because I can immediately, no pressure to say, hey, I've got a free book. Avoid these 10 biggest mistakes before you put your home on the market or before you sell your home. Or maybe I want to try what's my home worth, get a response within 24 hours of what the RPR, and there's lots of disclaimers and we could work through that. But a lot of things you can do with online marketing. And so what I'm going to do, if you're interested in this, if you're not interested, hopefully I've given you some ideas to think about. And that was my real goal for today, is to get you to think outside the box. I've been revamping my Business Tech Guy website, and you'll see some little banners across here. And right here, I have this click here to order Evernote 30 Days for Success. If you click on that, it actually takes you over here where you can purchase it right here. And I'm going to include this along with next week, the 9th and the 10th, and we may even do 3 days, a really detailed workshop on how we do some of this. And we're going to take it slow. We're going to answer questions, and I'm going to record it, and I'll put it online so you can watch that. But you'll also, so anyone who's purchased Evernote is actually going to receive this offer, because that's kind of how I do a lot of this. If you buy it once, you get it again. So if you purchase Evernote, and if you're not using Evernote, you're really missing out. It's $97. And what I did with this, rather than dumping it all in your lap at one time, is every day you get about a 2 or 3 minute video for 30 days on how to use Evernote. And I've had some really nice comments from people who are using Evernote, and they said it was so great because I just got it in bite-sized pieces. I guess it's kind of like that book I was telling you about. But if you're interested and you want to join me next week, I'll be in France, but we're going to do this from France. I'll be doing it from my apartment the 9th and 10th, and we're going to really dive in. You'll get the coaching and the training next week. And by the way, I'll even be glad to jump on a GoToMeeting personalized for you to help you out with some of it. And then I'll throw in the Evernote training as well. So you get both programs for $97. And if you can, I hope this was helpful. And you can always reach out to me if you have a question or need some help, because I'd love to help you in any way. So you've been a great group. That's part of Lead Pages there, and I get a lot of folks that will opt in using that. But thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful. And if nothing else, I hope I gave you some ideas that you can go out and incorporate in your business. So have a great day, and thanks for watching. It's good to see all my online friends. It was fun to have you on. Thank you.